In the heart of a bustling city, there was a small food stall run by a woman named Mama Binta. Every morning, as the sun rose, she would arrive at her corner with a steaming pot of stew, selling simple yet delicious meals to anyone passing by. Her food was always fresh, flavorful, and had a richness that could not be easily matched. But there was something odd about Mama Binta's stall. Despite being in a crowded part of the city, where dozens of other food vendors lined the streets, her customer base was unlike any other. People came from far and wide, and the line at her stall never seemed to end. In fact, the line was often so long, it spilled out into the street, causing traffic jams. Curiously, no one could ever figure out why her food was so irresistible. Other vendors tried to learn her secret, but Mama Binta would only smile mysteriously and say, "The food is made with love." Some speculated that she had mysterious powers, while others believe it was the spices she used, passed down through generations. Before Mama Binta's food store became the sensation it was, she was just another vendor struggling to make ends meet. Her food, though made with care and passion, simply didn't attract enough customers. No matter how hard she worked, her store remained unnoticed, and the constant struggle left her exhausted and frustrated. One fateful evening, feeling at her wit's end, Mama Binta sought the advice of a renowned herbalist who lived on the edge of the city, far from the bustling street. The herbalist, an old man with deep-set eyes and a long white beard, was known for his mysterious ways and deep knowledge of ancient remedies. His reputation for solving seemingly impossible problems had spread far and wide. Mama Binta arrived at his modest hut, her heart heavy with worry. She explained her troubles, pouring out the weight of her hardships. "My food is good, but it's not bringing the people. I don't know what to do anymore. Can you help me, please?" The herbalist listened carefully, nodding in silence. When she finished, he looked at her, his eyes narrowing slightly. "The problem lies not with your food, but with the energy surrounding you. The city, the people, they are not drawn to your spirit, your essence." He paused, tapping his finger on a wooden table. "I can help you, but the price is high." Mama Binta, desperate for a solution, urged him to tell her what needed to be done. The herbalist looked her over with sharp eyes, as if reading the depth of her soul. He then told her the answer, one that made her heart race with a mixture of fear and curiosity. "There is an old ritual," he said, "that brings you the success you desire, but it requires sacrifice." It was said in order to draw people to her, she would need to make an offering of her own flesh. The ritual, he said, will require her to cut a part of her leg with a cutlass, a deep wound that will never heal, but will ensure the success of her business. The piece of flesh would be taken and used in a sacred ritual at the herbalist's shrine. In exchange for her sacrifice, the universe would open its doors and her food store would attract a crowd like never before. However, he warned, this wound will never heal. The pain will remain with you as long as you continue with the business. Every day, you must wash the wound with the water used for cooking, but it must be done in secret, away from the eyes of others. The price seemed steep, but the weight of Mama Binta's dream pressed down on her. She needed to succeed. She had no other choice. With trembling hands, she agreed to the ritual. The herbalist prepared everything in silence, and soon, under his careful guidance, Mama Binta felt the cold steel of the cutlass slice through her legs, leaving a wound that burned with intense pain. It was a pain that would never fade, nor with time, nor with any medicine. As the ritual was completed and the flesh was taken, she felt a strange sensation washed over her. A kind of power surged within her, as though the very earth had opened its arms to her. Her legs buckled from the pain. The herbalist stood behind her, his voice low and serious. "Your path is now set. Keep the secret, or all will be lost." And so, Mama Binta's business began to grow. The customers came in waves, each one more eager than the last. Word spread quickly about her food, its flavor unmatched by anything else in the city. But as the days passed, the wound on her leg worsened, a constant reminder of the price she had paid. She followed the herbalist's instructions carefully. Each day, she would wash the wound with the water used for cooking, ensuring no one saw her doing so. The wound remained raw and deep, an open mark of the sacrifices she had made for her success. At night, as she closed her store, Mama Binta would glance down at her leg. She could feel the troubling pain beneath her skin, but she also felt something else, the strange unshakable pull of the people who depended on her food, as she smiled to herself. Mama Binta's food store was thriving, her line of customers growing longer by the day. People didn't just come to eat, they came with an almost desperate eagerness, as though her meals held something they couldn't live without. Some would wake up before dawn just to secure their spot, while others, too impatient to wait, would offer to help her wash plates or serve food, hoping to be served first. This desperation didn't go unnoticed. Other food sellers in the market began to grumble among themselves. Their businesses were suffering, their stalls deserted as customers flocked to Mama Binta's. Whispers of jealousy and suspicion filled the air. She must be using something, one vendor muttered, shaking her head as she stared at Mama Binta's endless line of customers. Yes, another agreed. How else could one draw so many people? Her food can't be that special. She's done something unnatural. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some claimed Mama Binta had visited a powerful herbalist. One day, a group of vendors gathered near the corner of the market, their voices low but filled with anger. She has taken all our customers, one vendor hissed. We're barely making enough to feed ourselves. We need to do something, another said. We can't just let her destroy our livelihood. Meanwhile, Mama Binta remained oblivious of the growing hostility around her. She focused on her work, carefully preparing her meals and maintaining the secret ritual with her wounded leg. Every morning, before the market opened, she would wash the wound with the cooking water as the herbalist had instructed, ensuring no one ever saw her. But the vendors' resentment continued to fester, and soon, one of them decided to take matters into her own hands. A young woman named Sade, whose store was right across Mama Binta's, began to watch her every move. Sade was determined to uncover the secret behind Mama Binta's success, convinced that it was the key to saving her own falling business. One night, after the market had closed and Mama Binta had packed up her store, Sade followed her. She stayed in the shadows, her heart pounding as she watched Mama Binta walk through the narrow alleys behind the market. Sade followed her to a small hidden spot where Mama Binta set down a pot of water. Sade watched in shock as Mama Binta rolled up her wrapper, revealing the wound on her leg. It was raw and oozing, the kind of wound that should have healed long ago. But instead of treating it with medicine, Mama Binta dipped the cloth into the cooking water and began to wash the wound, her face a mix of pain and relief. Sade's breath caught into her throat. She had heard stories of such rituals, but had never believed them to be real. Now, seeing it with her own eyes, she felt a mix of fear and anger. How could Mama Binta use such dark means to take all their customers? It wasn't fair. The next day, Sade whispered what she had seen to other vendors, but no one believed her. Later that day, they approached Mama Binta, but she instantly denied it. As Mama Binta wondered how Sade said she saw her and how people didn't believe her, and asked her to taste her food, of which she did in order to prove them wrong. Some people looked at Sade in disbelief, while some told her she was jealous of her large customer base. One day, the market was bustling with its usual noise when Sade's sharp eyes caught sight of something strange. She had been trailing Mama Binta for days, desperate to uncover the secret behind her inexplicable success. On this fateful evening, as the shadows lengthened and most vendors prepared to pack up, Sade followed Mama Binta once more, keeping her distance but staying close enough to see what she was doing. Mama Binta thinking she was alone, brought out a basin of water behind her stall. Her leg wound, now swollen and festering, oozed with a foul smell. She wept in pain, but carried on with her ritual, dipping a cloth into the same water she used to cook and wiping the wound. The flesh around the wound was dark and raw, maggots crawling out of the decayed skin. Sade's heart raced. She could no longer contain her shock and disgust. "Mama Binta, what are you doing?" she screamed, stepping out of the shadows. Mama Binta froze, her blood running cold. She quickly tried to cover the wound, but it was too late. Sade's loud, piercing voice echoed through the market. "She's washing her wound with the same water she uses to cook," Sade shouted, her voice trembling with anger and revulsion. "Everyone, come and see, oh! Mama Binta's secret is wickedness." Vendors and customers turned towards the commotion, their curiosity piqued. They began gathering around as Sade continued to yell. "Mama Binta," Sade cried, pointing an accusatory finger at her. "You've been selling cursed food to people, using your own filth to draw customers. This is why your line never ends." Mama Binta dropped to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "Please," she begged, her voice cracking. "Don't tell anyone. I had no choice. I only wanted my business to survive. I beg you." "Sade, don't do this." But Sade refused to be silenced. Her fury only grew. "No! The people must know the truth. You've been fooling us all, Mama Binta, and we've had enough. The people must know that I'm not lying anymore." Her shout echoed across the market, drawing an even larger crowd. Panic gripped Mama Binta as she realized her secret was unraveling. She could feel the weight of judgment in their stares, the disgust in their whispers. And then something strange began to happen. Mama Binta clutched her leg, her face twisting in agony as a sharp burning pain tore through her body. The wound on her leg seemed to swell and burst, releasing a putrid stench that filled the air. Maggots spilled out in a written mass, and the crowd recoiled in horror. "No, no!" Mama Binta screamed, her voice growing wide and unhinged. Her eyes darted around as if she were losing her grip on reality. She clawed at her face, her hair, her clothes, as if trying to tear away the pain and guilt consuming her. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Mama Binta began to wail, her voice echoing eerily. Her movements grew erratic, and she stumbled through the market, her mind unraveling. "They are coming for me," she shrieked, her words barely coherent. "The spirit, they won't let me go." Her wound oozed the dark foul smell that stained the ground wherever she stepped. The stench was unbearable, and people began backing away, covering their noses. Before anyone could stop her, Mama Binta broke into a frantic run, her screams growing louder. She tore through the streets, leaving chaos in her wake. People shouted after her, some trying to follow her, but she was too fast. Driven by her madness, no one could understand. She ran towards the express road, her feet barely touching the ground. A speeding vehicle approached. Its horn, blaring at the driver, tried to swerve, but it was too late. With a sickening thud, the car struck Mama Binta, her body crumpling beneath its wheels. The vehicle screeched to a halt, passengers inside screaming in terror. Mama Binta lay lifeless in the middle of the road, her wound still oozing. The once bustling market fell silent as the news spread. Some said it was the spirits claiming what was owned, while others believed it was the weight of her guilt that drove her to madness. Whatever the truth, Mama Binta's story became a chilling tale, whispered across the city, a cautionary reminder of the dangers of desperate ambition and the heavy price of dark secrets. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit the notification bell below for more videos. Like, share with loved ones and also comment. See you on our next video. Bye!